So, hello and welcome to day 4 of the video diaries that I'm doing as part of our Lexical Lab 2018 Summer School. Today I thought I'd do something slightly different. I'm doing the Teaching Lexically course today, and one of the lovely things about running these kinds of courses is, as trainers, both Andrew and myself always learn things from the teachers that we're working with. And today I've got a teacher called Olga from Moscow, and she's just going to explain something she does with her students back in Moscow. Olga, over to you.
Yes, hi everyone. I use a very interesting technology because then I'm a teacher of students at a university, and this year I had the group of journalists. The technology that I use...
That they're journalists who write in English, yeah?
Yeah,
okay.
Yes, usually we work at the stage of reading with markers. So usually it's a really nice one to work with authentic materials because journalists usually stuck at this point of view, so then they don't know how to work, how to use them in their future life. And then how I use you can choose like three markers, yes, so then when you work with the materials. So usually first stage, so that is like the yellow marker, and you work that the phrases and the vocabulary they know, so then you feel like a little bit comfortable and they feel comfortable with you.
When you say know, do you mean know and use, or just know receptively? Or you don't differentiate between that?
No, I think that that to make them comfortable with this, yeah, but because usually they are very surprised at this stage, like, wow, so then what the huge text we have, how it is. Then the second, I use these two markers after. Usually, so then you can take the red or the pink one, and usually that's when they mark the sentences or they mark different phrases they don't know. And I think that's my favorite. Yeah, so then that's the green, and they mark the No, it's like green.
We'll agree to disagree.
You can use like blue or green one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And usually, so then they mark the phrases and the vocabulary they're interested in, and usually, so these colors are corresponded, and then after that, when you have a very colorful text. Do
you find sometimes that the things they're interested in aren't necessarily things they don't know? Sometimes they're interested in things
happens,
that...
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
After that, we elicit only vocabulary and the phrases they're interested in. And usually, so then, as I told earlier, so then they're corresponded. And usually then we work with this vocabulary. And it works because then they're really interested, they're fascinated with this fact. Yeah, so then that's how this...
So I have a few questions.
Yeah.
Do they all buy their own highlighter pens, or do you
Usually
provide them as part of the course?
So then usually I have some extra markers.
Okay.
Yeah, and
because you want them all to be using the same colours, basically, yeah?
Yeah, usually it is.
And what do you do with the language that you get from them?
So usually we do some different tasks with them. Usually, so then it's you need to be really well prepared for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then usually it's really time consuming because you need to find the right materials in the internet. So then usually websites usually use BBC or TED Talks resources. It takes time, but when you find the text you want to work with, and you give them to students or to learners, it's really very interesting because it's authentic. And if they're journalists, okay, it's really specific.
It's quite close to their own realities in that sense as well. Yeah.
So that's one. And usually with markers, they really like this coloring process and relaxes them a little bit.
And do you find that you yourself are having to really be on top of the material that you're taking in case they ask you questions, and you're having to think of explanations and examples and as part of your planning?
Of course. But sometimes even I stuck at some phrases, even in the classroom. So then it happens.
Strangely, you're only human.
Yeah, but it happens. So then you need to be very alive, sort of, with students. You're not a robot in this case.
Yeah, and I guess sometimes you just have to kind of admit, do you know what, I'm not sure. I'll look it up. Okay, thank you very much for sharing that.